or a Nike clinic or
Yep.
whatever it was, you went, and then that whole weekend was shared experiences and shared knowledge. And, you know, I don't know how much football I learned. I've learned most of my football on a napkin more than I learned on a blackboard.
You laugh about that. That's how my interview with Al Davis went. He wrote down everything. He wrote down things, and he gave me a handful of napkins and told me to draw up blitzes, draw up coverages on napkins, and he stuffed them in his pocket.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, absolute truth.
That's cool.
Hi, coaches. Good evening and welcome to Share the Knowledge, Hope International. We're going to be going over to our speaker just in a moment. If I can just explain, if you are registered to BAFCA and you would like to collect your CPD points, email us at STK Knowledge. You've got the email address on your invites. Let us know you're here. Give me your real names to compare with your handle names, so that we make sure when this clinic's over, we can get you those CPD points. We're going to be recording this live, and we're going to obviously just record it for keeping it for use down the road. So we want to make sure that we keep our language clean and do the right thing. So again, welcome. If there's any questions, please put them in the chat. In a moment, we'll introduce you to the speaker, and we will go from there. I'm going to be closing the meeting soon and start recording. I'll do that now. All right, here we go. So we should be live on YouTube now and recording as well. Very, very fortunate to have a number of coaches on board here of note. Especially, I'm very, very pleased, obviously, working with Coach Chuck Bresnahan. He's on board here, being part of the clan, helping us grow. Also, we have a celebrity coach, a Sky analyst, a true friend to share the knowledge, Hope International. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it over to Coach Jeff Reinbold. I think it'd be good for him, for us to hear him introduce our speaker. Coach, if you wouldn't mind, say a few words and go ahead and introduce our speaker.
Thank you, Rick. And again, thanks to Chuck and everybody. And please pass this forward to Rod, that this is an awesome thing you guys have started. And I've watched it grow from an idea to now being coaches from all over the world getting an opportunity to get together and talk football, which is what we all want to do and have an opportunity to grow. I want to introduce tonight's speaker, a young guy that I had on my podcast tonight. Did a great job for us. Michael George is a born and bred Texan. He worked with the defensive line last year with the XFL Arlington, not Dallas, Arlington Renegades. He's going to talk to you tonight about sim packages and how you can show pressure, play zone, show zone, play pressure. Some really neat stuff that they did in Arlington last year, and I think you're going to really enjoy. Michael, congratulations and welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for that. Really appreciate the introduction. You know, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share with all of you this evening. I spent about 15 years in college football, places like Ohio State, Ohio University, Villanova, down to Texas State. Spent a lot of time on offense, and then in operations and recruiting, in video, in every kind of all these other facets of the game and operations. I came down to Texas State. I was then was in some of the spring leagues. I heard Chuck and Jeff talking about the spring league. I was helping out there with the Jousters in whatever year that was in 21. I was in the AAF with the San Antonio Commanders in 2019, with the St. Louis Battlehawks in 2020, and then the Arlington Renegades here in 23. So I've done a couple of different professional leagues, and again, having a lot of different avenues being involved in the game. in the operational side, in the communication with players, in equipment, in video, and really so many different ways that no matter what level we're talking about, no matter where I've been, whether it's been high school, Division III, FCS, Group of Five, Power Five, professional football, I've seen it in a lot of different ways and how you can do it with a different size of staff and how you have to kind of get the job done. So I appreciate that, the opportunity to share. And so just give me a second as I share my screen. What I'm going to talk tonight about is putting together a pressure package, our simulated pressures. And so the first thing that I want to make sure that I do is, that I appropriately kind of define what we're talking about. And so what is a sim pressure? It's when we're bringing a non-traditional pass rusher and someone like a sorry about that, a linebacker, defensive back, but also, I don't know why I didn't pause. There you go. And we're going to drop a traditional rusher. So we'll drop a defensive lineman. Sorry about that. And so why do we like sim pressures? Why are they popular across the NFL, across college? But it's a sound design. We're able to get into our 8-man pressures and execute a pressure package while maintaining coverage in the back end. I don't know why my mouse isn't pausing my remote. So give me just a second, guys. I'm sorry about that. Gotta love when technology interrupts us. Yeah, it looks like it's perfectly normal now. That's great. So again, all right, so we have sound design, we have a pressure package while maintaining our coverage, and it's simple for us, but it's complicated for the defense. And so for us, it's a lot of same as teaching. And what I mean that is that we're able to give certain techniques and fundamentals that we're coaching to our players, and they're able to apply them to different schemes, and we're able to be more complicated, but at the same time, it's easy for us to be able to do it because it's the same fundamentals and techniques. But because we're giving them slightly different looks, it's going to create some uncertainty for the opposing quarterback in making his reads and where his opening areas are, but also the receivers as they're running their routes. And I just want to make sure that before we even get into sim pressures, talking about the guys up front, and any blitzer that we might add, I want to talk about some pass rush commandments, just things that I really believe in that are always kind of fundamentals. And so number one, that we're going to rush as a unit. And so it's going to be so important to maintain our pass rush lanes. We're going to push the middle. We don't want the quarterback to step up. We want that quarterback to feel the pressure that we're presenting to him. But it's also really important that we never end up with two B gap rushers where now there's a big opening in the middle that the quarterback can step up and scramble into. Individually, our rushers have to have a plan. You want to coach up your players that they have a pass rush move in mind each and every play and have that move and a counter. So as they go into that snap, understand what the plan is to do. And then if the offensive lineman takes it away, have the counter off of it to be able to still get pressure onto the quarterback. Pre-snap, it's so important to know where the launch point is. Know the depth of the quarterback. Is he under? Is he gun? Does this team like to go 3-step or 5-step or 7-step? Because those are going to all influence where our rush has to affect. We have to be able to get off on the ball or the movement, whatever's fast, whatever's first, okay? Because speed is the name of the game. We're going to always attack half a man, okay? So, when I say half man, I don't want to ever go rush right down the middle of an offensive lineman because that's where he is and he's got his two hands. I want to always attack half, work my move, make him shoot his hands, be able to beat his hands, rush with my two hands, and be able to get pressure through that gap, through that area. as you're rushing the gap, we want to get skinny, right? We're going to have a small surface area so that we're not giving the offensive lineman the same surface to make contact with us as they're trying to block us. I want to be able to give him, but then take it away so that he thinks he can punch and get contact on my surface, but then I'm going to actually take it away. I'm going to be like water, right? Like Bruce Lee, where I'm going to be able to move in such a way that I can affect the quarterback, affect the gap, get pressure, but I'm going to go and move where I'm able to go. Okay. But the key here is that we're going to avoid no man's land, no drive-by rushes. And I'll show you what I mean by that. If we're behind the quarterback, that's the worst place in the world that you can ever be. You got to spin back or hump back. The hump, big time move, Reggie White, if you ever, with the big club up underneath the offensive lineman's armpit. And so you can hump back to get back involved in the play. If you're going power rush, we always want to go one arm is longer than two. And so understand that you can get separation away from that offensive lineman. One arm is longer than two than trying to lock out here. I can lock out here with a long arm through and then work my counter and finish the play. We're never going to leave our feet. Our guys are tall enough. Okay. Get your hands up.
Hi, guys.
Make the quarterback throw out of a well, but you don't have to leave your feet. Okay. When I said no man's land, this is what I mean. So this is what our pass rush should look like. Our interior pass rushers are going to attack the downfield shoulder of the quarterback closer to the line of scrimmage, whereas the outside rushers are going to go to the upfield shoulder and contain. Okay. And so that's where we're going to be able to affect the quarterback. Again, we don't want to have two B-gap rushers to give them that step up. And we don't want to have those drive-bys in no man's land behind the quarterback. There's nothing good that can happen 5 yards behind the quarterback. All right, so now to get into some of our pressures. So the way I've kind of structured this and the way we're going to go through is we're going to look at some blitzes that a lot of them are fire zone pressure. And so that's where we're going to start. And after we take a look at the fire zone or in some case, man, then we're going to look at what would it look like if we made this a sim pressure. And so here I've got pictured just a linebacker plug blitz, right? Straight ahead, there's an open B gap. We're going to have the linebacker take the open gap that's directly in front of him. That's the blitz. I've got 5 rushers. If I want to make this a sim pressure, what's going to be different, and we'll come to a picture of it later, is that now we're going to have the away tackle here on the right-hand side be our contain rusher, and this right end is going to drop. So again, starting off with the blitz, and so that's where we are right now. So what we're going to see here is we have, with the red gloves, our middle linebacker on the far side is going to blitz the open B gap. And what we're going to do is we're also going to execute a stunt because of how these guys blocked this week. We ran this blitz with the B gap, but we also had a twist up front. So it's a 5-man go. It's a blitz. We're playing fire zone coverage, 3 deep, 3 under. And there's our blitzing linebacker untouched in the backfield for a big TFL. So here from the end zone, again, what we're going to see, there's our linebacker 53. There's the open gap directly in front of him. He's going to take that gap. 5-man go. And it's a big negative play. So big steps to be able to execute. Now, here we are later in the season. Now we're against St. Louis. It's the exact same blitz, the same pressure. We're still playing 3 deep, 3 under. Because the offensive formation is giving us trips, we have the safety coming down to play on that number 3 receiver right here. And we're going to rush these 5 up front. Okay. Incomplete pass, we get off the field. Okay. The big third down, as we pressured here in this situation. But again, it's a 5-man go. They pick it up. Sometimes they do. But our guys are still in good coverage in our fire zone. Now, so here's the drawing of what the same pressure is going to look like, except now it's a simulated pressure. So there's only a 4-man rush. It's only a 4-man go. And we're going to have a full 7 men in coverage, 3 deep, 4 under. And so here we are. We've got linebacker showing here to the field against empty. The blitz is coming up top into the open B gap. And we're playing, it's just cover 3. To the safeties, to the corners, to the nickel. It's all just cover 3 to them. They throw a hitch, he's immediately tackled. Just like that should happen. Hey, if they're going to take a 5-yard route, we're going to tackle it, get them down. Okay? So here we are. Again, we're showing pressure here with 36 to the field, and 18 is our rusher. 4-man rush, and 50, our field defensive end, is dropping back to play the field hook. Because it's 4 under 3 deep, so he's playing the field hook. Coach McCusker or Reek, anybody, if you guys need to hop in, if there's something that I don't see, if you guys have a question right quick, don't feel like you're locked up.
Yeah, good, Coach.
All right, so here we are. We're empty again. Same formation, same blitz. Okay, so here our linebacker 36 is showing there on top of the center. We're going to blitz from up top, number 18, and number 50 is a drop defensive end. He's going to drop straight on the railroad track, so he should just back up straight on those hashes, and he's going to be the field hook right here. So we see, again, it's a cover 3, 4 under. We're only bringing 4 guys. It's a good job by their center stepping back and coming around their guard. But again, it's pressure in the quarterback's face. The ball is a little high. It's an incompletion. Again, how is the offensive line going to identify this when they see this look? And then here comes our blitzer to try to get pressure into the face of the quarterback. Can he get his feet set? Can he step in to make that throw? Or are they off the field? This film is from 2020. We were in St. Louis, our staff, defensive coordinator, Jay Hayes and Tim Lewis. We were all together in St. Louis as well. And so here we are running the same pressure. And all I got to say to our defensive end here, don't miss the layup, because there's our rusher coming on the inside. The tackle squeezes to him. Got to finish the play. Got to finish the play. Incompletion, and we're off the field, but dang, those are ones you want back. Here's another one back from 2020. They did a good job of seeing our linebacker kind of showing, and so they thought they had it picked up. And so we see that here comes the rusher, and the right end, the one up top, is dropping, and they're running mesh, so he's running right to him. It's a good job by the tight end trying to stop and the quarterback leading him back inside, but our defensive end breaks up the play, and we're off the field. Again, they're trying to identify where the pressure is coming from. Here comes 57. And there's 42 dropping right to him. 26 is the other hook player. He's taking the other crosser and getting off the field. I think I've got one more of these. Here it is again. 4-man go. Now, I put this one on here because if you were breaking us down, if you were the opponent and watching us here, you might not identify this as a sim pressure. You might not see our right end here as a dropper because he's getting a run look from his tackle, and so he's able to just stay and play. And so we're not bailing out early and creating a cushion for that offensive line, but understand that if pass shows that he is the hook defender on that side. And so this is really valuable, again, when you start talking about tendencies and you talk about trying to get an offense to be indecisive and uncertain, is they may not break this down like 55 is a dropper. All right, so we saw what it could look like with a rusher up the middle, right, in that open gap directly in front of us. Well, so now we can rush our dime linebacker outside. So here's a 5-man go. So this is this is a blitz, fire zone pressure, 3 deep, 3 under. We see deep third, right, middle third. There's your 2-player, your 2-player, and then he's relating to 3. And it's a 5-man go. This is a blitz. How would we convert it to a simulated pressure? We would convert it to a simulated pressure by the backside tackle becoming the contain, and we'll drop the end. Okay? So understand that will be, a consistent pattern is how we're going to be able to do this and how to be able to execute. So here we are. Here's our dime linebacker right on the near hash. Here's the blitz. Again, you see the 5-man go. They're running RPO with a glance. We're bringing a 5-man pressure. Our safety comes right down into that hole. Linebacker falls back into it. It's an incompletion. So this is 3 deep, 3 under, blitz, and we're able to pressure to the side of the running back and still affect the RPO that comes off of it. What's going to happen now if we run the simulated pressure? Okay, so now again, everything's the same, except now you've got an additional hook defender right here by this defensive end. And so now here's the hook on the right, here's the hook on the left. There's your 2 curl flats and your deep thirds. So here we are, we're seeing empty. So our middle linebacker is showing pressure up the middle, but the blitz is actually coming from the dime on the weak side. Quarterback's running for his life. Got scared. It is only a 4-man rush. And he is bailing out of there because he feels like he's got so much pressure. We've got 7 guys in coverage. This is 3rd and 11. And we're able to bring 4 guys and be right in the face of the quarterback, affecting the throw. Again, here's a clip from 2020. They throw a flare. Do you see who makes the tackle? Number 95. Pause for a second. He's right here. He's our right tackle. He is going to contain. And they throw this flare, and so he's able to just keep chasing it. Understand that when you can get these big guys believing in what you're doing and making plays outside the numbers, you've already won. You're there. So again, here is our dime linebacker blitzing from the bottom of the screen. Other three are moving up toward the top of the screen. Pressure in the face of the quarterback. And the left defensive end, who is coming inside, gets the hit on the quarterback. This is a great picture of what I talked about earlier with our pass rush lanes. So we talk about this outside rusher. Well, he's got the back point of the quarterback. I don't want him to go too far behind, but he's got this back point. This is our contain rusher on this side. He's containing this back point. And these two guys are now the interior rushers. So even though on that picture I showed you, it was 4 defensive linemen, here we've introduced a linebacker and we have 3 defensive linemen, but they're now all in position to accomplish those same tasks. So 96 and 98 here are pushing the middle to get to the front pad of that quarterback and affect his ability to step up. And there's exactly what you want to see. He tries to step up and he ends up on his back. Again, here they give us a nub set. So they give us a tight end single width formation. There's no wide receiver here at the bottom. Our dime linebacker's on the edge and he's coming. But again, the defensive end is dropping up top. And there we are with a 4-man rush. And there is our middle linebacker and our safety stepping in. I left this one on here because I want you guys to understand that even at the professional football level, we're not perfect. So this is zone coverage, and this is our corner right here running across the field because it's single width, and he's thinking in his head that he's supposed to chase it. Well, he's not. He's the deep third defender right here. And so what ends up happening is the safeties are now trying to rotate to try to make up for his error. But because of the pressure that we're bringing off the edge, and then we see number 57 working away from there to the weak hook, we're able to still get hats right at the running back. The movement by 55 is hard for 74 to pick up inside. And we have a linebacker making a tackle for a 1-yard gain on a big play. And we made an error. So I want you guys to understand that, again, it's all football. And we're all going to see it. So, hey, we see 57 showing the blitz there. Don't miss the layup. It was 53 last time. Come on. And Dexter doesn't finish there. Again, still getting pressure on the quarterback, still an incompletion, still getting off the field, but understanding that these are the plays that you show your guys the day after the game. And they know that that's their play to make. This is a 4-man rush, but we're able to get a free rusher at the quarterback. It was designed that way, because we knew how they were going to slide the protection. And by going inside, we knew that the tackle had the habit of clamping down on that guy. So again, got to finish the plays that are in front of us. Here's another one. This time it's a rush. Again, it's a 4-man rush. And so up top, our right defensive end is dropping. So he's folding back like he's a linebacker because he's a dropper. So as that running back tries to cut into the B gap, and we're going to see it from the end zone, I'll let it play, is that defensive end ends up right in the play, and we're able to make a stop on a short yardage play because of that fold player. We see 42 folding around, and the offensive line doesn't pick him up. I think I've got one more here, the dime rusher up top. Again, it's a 4-man rush, quarterback scrambling. It's good coverage because we've got 7 in coverage, and the quarterback's got no place to go. And we're off the field on 3rd down. So here we are again. The rush is coming from our left. One of the change-ups that we're able to put in is we're able to allow 96 here, instead of going and becoming the right rusher and pushing the pocket here. Sometimes when the quarterback steps up, because of this pressure, he steps up inside. And so one of our change-ups is that we actually execute the ability for him to come back into that honey hole and make that play right there. So you're going to see 96 coming back, and he's the one who actually is getting pressure on the quarterback at the sideline, was the left tackle who's moving to the right. Before I go on to this, now it's the same pressure. It's a 5-man go, but now we're bringing the nickel. I just really quickly want to take a peek at the chat. Does anybody have any questions, anything that we're seeing? Are we able to follow things along right now?
I think we're good, Coach. But if anybody wants to ask a question, go ahead and take this opportunity right now, and then we can carry on. So I think we're good, Coach. Let's
Awesome.
carry on.
Perfect.
We'll get hit at the end.
Excellent. No, we're good. So, hey, so now we're going to bring the nickel. So by bringing the nickel, so you're bringing a defensive back. He's a smaller body. 5-man go, keeping both linebackers in coverage. It's still a way for us to bring a 5-man pressure. When we run a blitz with this defensive back, what we actually like to do is play cover 2 to it. So it's a blitz, but we're actually playing cover 2. So there's your flat corner. Here is your half safety. I'm going to change the color of the pen because I don't think you can see it very well. So here's the half safety. So you've got the flat corner and the half safety. Here's your your hook curl on the right. Here's your hook curl on the left. This is your flat defender on the left. And this corner is executing a half-man technique. So he is the half defender, but with only one receiver back here, it's really a half-man technique on him. And so we see that it is a 4 under 2 deep coverage. So it's a slightly different zone coverage, but it allows us to bring our 5th rusher. All right, so let's start by looking at the blitz. It's a blitz that here it is coming from the field. There's the nickel. Again, a 5-man pressure. We like it against the run. And so we see this run stop. Everyone's working. We got 5 men in the pass rush, in the run stopping. There comes the nickel. And because of the scheme, you see that number 77, this left tackle, he sees the blitzer. 75 does not. And so our defensive end is unblocked in the backfield, tackle for loss. Coach Bresnahan, I know it's not your side of the ball, but I do have a couple snaps of Vegas on here, so hopefully that doesn't get me in trouble. We have the nickel coming here from the field. They're actually taking the offensive lineman away, and 45 here, our defensive end, does a great job of chasing 77 in his hip pocket. He doesn't have to worry. 45 does not need to worry about the quarterback pull because we have a blitzing nickel outside of him. So he can just let it loose and go make the TFL. Okay, so here we are. They're a condensed formation. We're bringing our defensive back here at the bottom. And there he is coming off the edge. You're making a tackle for a 1 or 2 yard gain. By bringing some of these defensive backs, the offensive line doesn't always account for them in their counts. And so sometimes bringing these defensive backs and blitzes, especially against the run, can really benefit us because the offensive line doesn't see him, doesn't account. This was a big one. This was week 1 against Vegas. We're blitzing here from the right. And so our left tackle is going out a gap. And he sees the screen pass. And anytime there's a big man touchdown, everyone's got to celebrate. Big time game. We had 2 pick sixes in that game against Vegas, and we escaped there week 1. It ends up at the end of the season, we wouldn't have made the playoffs if we hadn't won that game. So unbelievable effort by the defense, and to be able to get ourselves in the playoffs and then win the championship. So how does this look now? Instead of being a blitz, playing 4 under 2 deep, how can we bring that nickel except play 5 under 2 deep? So play cover 2, a full 7-man rush. And so we see that now, because we're dropping the end, that allows us for that safety to play the half on his side. So we're getting a lot of the same rotation, but we're actually playing a cover 2 defense now with, again, a 4-man go. So we're still at 7 in coverage. We think it's a good coverage, but we're able to only bring 4. We'll see it here better on the end zone. Okay. The way we were running it this week is we were telling this end right here, his job was to become the contain on the opposite side so that we weren't asking our tackles to do it. They end up throwing a toss here to our defensive left, so we have an extra hat at the point of attack. We're blitzing right into it. Here's another look at it. So just like I told you, sometimes even pro players make mistakes. Well, so this call here was the same one. We're supposed to have a nickel coming off the edge here right at the bottom. So we should have a nickel rushing right there. This defensive end, 50, is going to become our contain to the top, and then our 2 tackles are our other 2 rushers. That's our 4-man go. The nickel doesn't go. He makes a mistake, which is why the linebacker and the nickel are in the same place. But because of the movement of the other 3 defensive linemen, the quarterback steps up. Where's he going to step up? Right there. That's your sack. So again, the next day in film review, you sit down and you talk to your nickel and you say, hey, that was your sack right there. That was you. It was your opportunity to go make a play, because when this quarterback steps up right there, you should be meeting him head on. So now let's look here. Another one, a different way to get us into a two coverage simulated pressure. I put this one on here because earlier this week, I saw Greg Williams' son, defense coordinator for the DC Defenders, his son, made a post about this blitz, about this simulated pressure. And I said, well, heck, if I'm talking sim pressures, I guess I should put this one on there. So we knew out of this formation that they had a limited offensive package. And one of the plays that they had was a stick concept, pass route. So this tight end is going to come right here and hook up on the outside. He's going to go out, and it's going to be mirrored. It's going to be on the same on the other side. So that's their route. So how can we cover it? And what we said is, okay, let's have some fun. You know, players love that, right? They all want to get excited, do something different, to have a little fun. Hey, let's have a little fun. Hey, these two inside linebackers, what we're going to do is we're going to have you guys go take the outside of those pass routes. Hey, defensive ends, you're standing right in front of this tight end. You cover it. How am I going to get my fourth rushers? I'm going to do it from my two cornerbacks. I'm going to do it with my defensive backs. And so it was something that we had schemed up kind of for these guys. And the quarterback was surprised. He wasn't expecting to see two cornerbacks blitzing off the edges. He wasn't expecting to see defensive ends dropping into coverage. He can't make the throw he wants to. He steps up and ends up, it's a sack for our corner. Again, give the players the opportunity to have a little fun, and you'll be amazed what they can accomplish when they're enjoying themselves. They're a part of it. They have to be a part of it. How else can we bring this nickel? Well, we can bring this nickel and we can play cover 3 as well. And so if we're going to do that, again, we're still getting this rotation of the safeties because the DB, the nickel, is coming from the field. But now it's going to be a 4 under 3 deep coverage. So we have our corner, our safety, and our corner is our deep thirds. And then our safety, backer, end, and dime are our 4 under coverages. So the end and the backer are our 2 hook defenders, and the safety and the dime are the 2 curl flats. Again, simulated pressure, 4-man go. So here we are. It's empty. We saw earlier in the tape, we had some empties and we were bringing pressure from the 2-man side. Hey, we can bring pressure from the 3-man side as well. Again, that's always important to be able to vary the looks so that the offense doesn't have a bead on where the pressure is going to come from. So the nickel is pressuring here from the bottom of the screen. Our defensive end up top is going to drop. We tell him to stay on his railroad tracks. He is a 6'7", 270-pound individual. He did not get enough depth. They did a good job of running a slant behind him, and they got a completion for a first down. Every clip on here is not perfect. Every clip on here isn't a defensive win. Again, we still tackle them after the catch. That's an important way to finish every play. But hey, sometimes they're going to execute. They were able to run that route, and our defensive end didn't get enough depth. Here we are again. Now we're in trips. There's the pressure coming from the field. This week, we brought the nickel inside rather than outside. So he's coming inside. But it's still 4 under 3 deep. And we see that our safety is right there on top of the receiver, with the middle linebacker rallying over to him as well. So we saw that we're able to bring these guys across with the nickel coming outside, but we can also switch it and bring him inside. It's just a different look for this offensive line. Coaching point for these guys, these interior D linemen, as they're going, if they're getting any face, if they see the face mask of this offensive lineman, he's got to cross anything that touches him. He's got to go. Again, good tackle by the safety. Get us, get the stop, live to play another down. Here we are back in 2020. It's the same pressure. It's coming from up top. Here comes the nickel, absolutely unabated at the quarterback. They're throwing a flat route. Our safety is coming down. He is the curl flat defender. And that's exactly how you would coach him up to make a tackle. So it's a great tackle by Will Hill, our safety. Get him off the field. Again, here's our pressure from the bottom now, from the trips. Again, there it is. 4-man rush, and we got a free man going at the quarterback again. They're trying to run a screen. Excuse me. Trying to run a screen. And our defensive tackle is all over it. They're able to get behind him. And then both the linebacker and the defensive back are able to get in, make a tackle for a loss on third down, get off the field. 4-man rush. Free at the quarterback. They're trying to throw a screen. There's our linebacker. There's our corner. We're all over it. Okay, where's the nickel? He's going to be up top. Here's the pressure. Coming from a tight end surface, doesn't matter. Again, 4-man rush. You see the linebacker working that way. He's the field hook. I'd like him to be a little bit tighter. And the defensive end here at the bottom, you can see he's really getting a lot of width. He's the hook defender, this left end. He can back straight up. He doesn't need to get width because we have a guy outside of him. And so as he's making that drop, I'd love him to be a little bit tighter, right on the letters where it says "for the love." 57, again, he's trying to do his show. He's got to make sure he gets to his work. And he's close enough to make that play if 13 makes the catch. And we have empty again. Showing blitz down here at the bottom, bringing the nickel from up top. It's a 4-man rush. We have a defensive end. This is snapped off the 27-yard line. The defensive end is 12 yards deep. Quarterback has to try to throw it over him. Overthrows it. Safety makes a great play. It's interception coming the other direction. Our ball. So it's not just lip service. We're telling our defensive ends, these big, long guys, we're asking them to drop back into coverage. But, this is a perfect example where his big body affects where the quarterback has to make that throw, and we get a big play out of it. We can also trade this to the next man inside. So instead of blitzing the nickel, we can bring our Mike linebacker. It's going to look very similar, right? So we can bring in a blitz situation here. This is going to be 3 under 3 deep. Why would we do this? Maybe for coverage purposes, because now you've got defensive backs on the field in coverage. When you blitz a defensive back, you're asking your linebackers and D linemen to be involved in the coverage. And hey, they're not as good coverage guys as your DBs are. They better not be. And so because of that, there are times that you might want to bring a linebacker from the field here, from the strength, and be able to play coverage with your defensive backs. And so here, our nickel is here at the bottom, and we're bringing the Mike linebacker from the bottom. This is a 5-man go, so this is a blitz. The blitzer gets pushed just by, the quarterback steps up, the other rushers hump back and get back into the play. So this is our defensive end up the top. You can see he gets to the depth of the quarterback, and as he steps up, he comes back inside, and that's a great play by Will, executing and finishing the play. And getting a couple push-ups to celebrate, right? So now here we are again. What we had prepared our linebacker all week in the way that their run game was, the way Seattle's run game was, we told our linebacker blitzing here, hey, don't be surprised when the quarterback is standing right in front of you with the ball. We're bringing a 5-man rush here, blitzing the linebacker. We expected the quarterback to try to throw the RPO because of the movement. And there's our linebacker standing directly in front of the quarterback. Don't be surprised. Does a great job, even with the quarterback trying to change his arm angle, at knocking the ball down. Incomplete. Big play. Let's go to the next one. Don't be surprised when you're standing right in front of him. Big time play by our middle linebacker here to get that ball down. Yeah, and there's another one. Again, it's 5-man go. So this is 3 under 3 deep, but you see how we matched it up, right? The 2 and the 3 defenders. So here the middle linebacker thinks that he's defending this running back, but as he goes outside of the tight end, he and the safety trade responsibilities because he has the number 3 player. This is our new number 3. And so he takes that tight end across the field. Good play by the middle linebacker. Okay. What's going to look like if we go sim pressure? Because we can do this as well, right? I mean, this is the pattern now. This week we ran it out of an odd front, so it's actually a true 0. But here's our middle linebacker coming off the field side, 4-man rush, cover 3. Quarterback steps up, makes a throw late, big interception by our dime linebacker. So it's giving them the same movement, same rotation, but it's only a 4-man go. And that's a mistake by the offense and a big play by the defense. Here I got another snap of that same pressure. Again, it's an odd front. Our blitz is up top. There it is. They try to just throw it out there on a quick now. But hey, it's cover 3. So there's our nickel leveraging. He's the curl flat player. Here's our safety coming down. He's the hook player. And here's our linebacker, the backside hook, rallying to the play. We got 3 at the 3 at the ball. That's a gain.